So if you don't know who I am, my name is Emily. I am a clarinet player. I'm classically trained. I did both my undergrad and a postgrad in instrumental performance. I've been working as a freelance performer and private lessons teacher for a while now. Don't feel like counting the years. I started streaming because all of my performing opportunities kind of disappeared during quarantine and during the fun stay at home all the time. And I was able and very lucky and fortunate to keep a lot of my students via Zoom. And for a while, it was great to just kind of tread water and maintain. But then it got to the point where I just felt like I needed to do something new. So I started making little multi-tracks on acapella and posting them to Instagram. And then I started posting them to YouTube and wanted to dive in a bit deeper, make longer ones. So I recently made my first 2 full-length multi-tracks. They're up on my channel now if you want to see them. And then I decided I wanted to do something a little less intensive and structured, and I thought streaming might be fun, but there aren't that many classical musicians on Twitch, it seems like. I just thought I would try this. I bought a couple things to get set up to try this out. Luckily, most everything, all the equipment I bought can either be gifted, sold, or transitioned into something else if this project doesn't work. But I'm really kind of having fun, even though I don't really have any followers yet and not that many people watching. I've just started and I'm not putting pressure on myself to hit certain numbers. I'm just trying to get myself out of my comfort zone a little bit and do something new. So if you're watching me do that, thank you. The only thing I would ask is if you are so inclined to follow me on here. I'm not monetized, so like you don't have to do a paid subscription or anything, but just following me would be wonderful. But if not, just watching what I have is a big help. So thank you. All right, so this is the third of Rose's 32 studies for clarinet. I'll try not to put a shadow on my face. One thing I've noticed as I've started to edit these streams is that I'm still quite uncomfortable on camera, and my playing has been a bit like boring, introverted. Sometimes it gets better like at the very end. So I'm going to take that as my own personal grain of salt as I continue to work on this. The markings that I've added are from Height's edition, David Height's edition, the Artistic Studies. Book 1 is over there on the floor. I'm not going to grab it. I use those because I learned first from the plain, like the standard white cover edition. And then I don't know what happened to my copies of those. I probably decluttered them because I realized I also had the Artistic Studies and I didn't need the individual Rose volumes anymore. And so then I learned them with the Height markings. And now I thought it would be fun to kind of go through that and change the ones I don't like and keep the ones I do, and then add my own. I don't know that I'm going to keep doing this. All right, now I'm going to play it. All right, Height says 56. I think that's pretty good. I will probably end up faster than that, but I'm going to try and stay there. So that wasn't bad, except for where I played C natural, where I should have played C sharp. I'm going to go ahead and mark that. There we go. Starting from the beginning with this trill, I feel like Rose was trolling his clarinet playing friends or students with this first trill because it's just not a great one. I got a second webcam so that you can see my fingers. Yay! Not sold on the angle yet. I also need to fix this top camera now, but I feel like the angle is wildly weird and I'm off center when I switch to this new view, but I'm working on it. Work in progress. So there are two ways to finger this. So as you can hear, the second one using the choke key, it is very, very sharp on my instrument. I don't know if there's anything that can be done about that. So I really think, even though it's not technically amazing, it's better for me to hold the G sharp key down and trill to the A key because it just sounds better. But it would take a little work to get that just right. I mean, if you're double jointed or if you're super flexible in that finger, maybe it's no big deal. But for me, it's something I would definitely need to work at if I were going to perform this, play it on an audition. But because it's so early, it's the first full measure, and because I feel like it's really important for that trill to sound good, I think I have to prioritize the sounding pitches over like the ease of execution. That's just what I think. So I would just practice it slowly, like 16ths. And then work it faster. And I think over exaggerating the speed up will help with some of that. That's something I'm just not going to be able to do amazingly today. And that's okay. Let's keep going. I'm fine with like the little hairpins in the first full measure to the beginning of the second full measure. So I don't think we need this first breath there. I'm fine with this one, as long as it's quick. And also, as you can see, added like the staccatos under the slur for the articulation here at the end of the first line. And I think that's fine. I think that's kind of what I would do anyway. I don't think they're really legato tongued. I think of the staccato under the slur as me, like, there are staccatos that have been softened by the slur and not a slur that has been slightly broken up by the staccato, if that makes sense. That's my interpretation anyway. I don't interpret it like a legato tongue. To me, legato tongue would be like the tenutos under the slur, because in my opinion then, like, the tenuto is a little extra like emphasis and the slur softens that and it comes out. It's sort of a legato tongue. You know, in the original there's nothing marked there, so I think you could make a case for just about anything. I think you could even make a case for slurring it, but I think it needs some separation. I really do. So let's start there and keep going. I don't know why Height writes breath marks under the rests. I think you would just know to breathe, but whatever. And I don't mind his version of the dynamics there. I think it gives you more to do. I think just that 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 count dim from the measure before to that pianissimo, that's a lot of time to just go piano to pianissimo. I like that he puts the little swell in there, so that's fine with me. staccatos in the next phrase, right here. I guess I like them like that staccato with the tenuto over them. I don't want them too short. I mean, that's a big mood change, like maybe. I don't like it. To me, these rose studies feel very much like the ear inside my head, inside my brain, kind of imagines like a violinist playing them. Anything that violinists do that's like our stopped tonguing, like our super short and separated, it's quite harsh. And I don't think that this is where they would do that. I think they would do, I don't know violin or string terms, I'm sorry. But like, you know, where they just kind of, like the bow just has like a little light, like brushing movement. That's what I'm picturing. Yeah, I don't like that breath there. I don't want it in there. I like to connect that little phrase, or those two parts of that little phrase. I mean, you could breathe there if you need to breathe there. Then do that. I don't have to breathe there, so I don't want to. I think it's unnecessary. I'll do it again though. Yeah, that time I was a little low on air, but I didn't get a very good breath before I started. But I think if with practice, that wouldn't be a problem. So let's keep going. I think mezzo forte is too loud for right here. I think mezzo piano is fine. If we kind of ended this phrase piano, like just bringing it up a bit before we get to this, like I'm fine with this little decrescendo that he wrote in there. And I think having this part be piano makes this all more dramatic. So I'm fine with all that. But to me, it feels a bit harsh to go from the piano here to the mezzo piano here. So I think, to the mezzo forte. So I think a mezzo piano, a little bit of a gentler change will sound better. I'll do that transition. Favorite moments in this one. I love that. I don't think this piano here should be subito. So I think that's not a very pretty decrescendo, is it? But I think you should decrescendo there. It's not really like a meter decrescendo. It's more like it relaxes a bit and it settles into that piano. And I disagree a little bit with this marking under the trill that he's got. So I think instead of that little swell, I think it's more of like a tenuto and then a little like crescendo. Or like a very gentle, like longer accent. So the accent, you know what I mean? It's not all at the front. So not a, but I like it like starting louder and relaxing into that octave change. I'm going to do that whole stretch again and see how that phrasing works. Hold that lower E trill for very long. I know there's a fermata on it, but I don't like to hold it super long. You can if you want to, go for it. I just don't like to. Let's keep going. want to talk about. Was a little confused about the C natural here and then the C sharp here. I think when I played it through a minute ago, I did what was written, but I might not have. But on Monday, I thought putting the C sharp in the grouping before where it comes back made more sense. That actually now I think it sounds better as a C natural. So if you think it's a misprint or whatever, that's cool. I don't know. I'd be interested to see a case being made on either side for which way to play it. But I think I'm going to keep it as written, keep it a natural for now. So I'm going to go back to the pickups to the a tempo. I thought that whole stretch was fine. I like the dramatic moment, the crescendo starting here, but he wrote it in there and this forte here. I think that's all good. I like keeping all these sextuplets forte. So like with a little bit of direction. So like not really a crescendo, but just making sure that they're up and they're lifted and they're sustained. I don't like the sudden piano here. I know that's in the original score. I think I like this more of a mezzo piano. And this should be kind of like in parentheses. Like it's direction, not a huge increase in volume. And then, so here is like still really mezzo piano. Let's try that stretch again. Big times where I really do disagree with Mr. Height. He replaced the forte that's in the score with a mezzo forte, and I like the forte. I like this, ending this decrescendo here at like a piano, and then this subito forte with lots of direction, and then a little bit of decay here so that we can really make the most of this. And I do like that he removed this breath. If you're a newer player or just struggle with range changes in general, you could take the breath. And that's what I would absolutely do in a performance. If I had a challenging piece or a piece with a challenging range transition like that, I would absolutely kind of cover my uncertainty or technical issue, whatever, with a breath, a musical breath. Then it sounds like I am breathing here because I believe it is musically important to do so. And you can sell that. And no one needs to know that the real reason or one of the reasons is because you can't make that octave change cleanly. I think I can do it. I might have just jinxed myself, but I feel like that one's going to be fine for me. So I like to connect it. I like for it to be, I would even probably slur it or lightly tongue it and then take the breath after before I start this descent, because I want to make sure I have adequate air for that big descent, because I think it should still be quite loud. This is, I think, the most dramatic, most interesting moment in this study, so I don't want it to fall flat. Let me try that. I'm going to start back second measure of the line before that octave change. that octave change. I think I would just slur it. I wouldn't even tongue it. I would still practice that a little more. I definitely err on the side of making those big dramatic leaps, those big octave changes earlier than I should. And so my advice to myself and to anyone else is to do it a hair, make that change, move, change notes a hair later than you really think you should. It just sounds more natural, more organic, more intentional, more secure. One of my flaws in my playing is when I let my nerves, my adrenaline get the better of me and push me along ahead when I really need to sit back and give the music some space to breathe. And that's one of those moments. Now, I think you could make a case for kind of pushing on ahead up to, and through that point. I didn't. Why don't we try that? Why don't I try that and see how that goes? So I'm going to start back at the same place, but I'm going to do a little bit of a lean forward tempo-wise going into that and not pull back there and see how it goes. Change tempo, but I actually think that energy pressing forward was a good thing. I think I liked that. Cool, we'll keep it. Make these two things difficult. They're already difficult. How am I going to make them different? This one is already marked piano. So I think I want the second one to be a little louder. And then it's like this one will do like a little bit of this and a little bit of this. And then this one will just do a little bit of that. Then the ending. I don't like those last triplets slurred. I need something. I think maybe, I've done the opposite a couple times. I think really what I want is the first, these three slurred, and then these two, like, legato toned. So like, I think I like that. Also, this reed, to me, I don't know how it sounds to you. It sounds awesome to me. It is the one I tried to play on Monday, and it did not cooperate. So it's funny how they'll just change. If you are a new clarinetist or a student, if a reed, unless a reed has been physically destroyed, if it just doesn't sound amazing and it's not old and there's no reason why it shouldn't work, save it. Stick it in its case, a real case, not like the little sleeve. And just hold on to it, because when the weather changes, especially if you live in the South like I do, the weather can make or break a reed. It could be totally different the next time you put it on your instrument. And I'm really loving this one tonight. I didn't like it the last time I played it. And if it comes out of the box and doesn't sound great, give it a chance. Don't just toss it in the trash, because you could be throwing away a future awesome reed. I don't know. I don't remember if I loved this one out of the box. I might not love it tomorrow, but today it's great. Okay, back to Rose. Let me go back to the odd tempo that he wrote in. I don't really do that. I think it should be a little slower. After this writ here, I think it should be a little bit broader, a little slower, up through till the end. I think it's a little faster than when we ended the writ, but I don't like to go back to the beginning tempo. I think it's winding down. So work a little more on what I'm doing at the end here. These dynamics that Haidt wrote in, I think they're a little too extreme. I want a clean canvas, so I'm going to just erase all of them. And I think this forte is good. And I think I want to keep that going. But then I want this to be a little bit of a crescendo, so this might be forte plus, question mark, and then a decay. And then this, I think mezzo forte is too loud. I think more like mezzo piano. I swear that's what that is. And then this is good. I think I want to confine all of the crescendo here to this half note. And then let it taper off. But not too much. I think I want... No, actually, I think I want just kind of like a natural, like a little bit of decay there, but I'm going to save most of the decrescendo for the end. Because I find, for me, for my psychology when I play, if I tell myself, land on this high note pianissimo and hold it, it's not going to be amazing. So I think instead I would rather think of it as this, but with like a pianissimo in parentheses. So it's like I'm getting there and then I'm going to taper it off. And I'm not going to... It's like that thing that happens a lot for me. If I have to hit a high note and hold it quietly, I'll get tense. I'll try really hard to relax, but I will get tense, and it'll shoot up the partial or squeak. That's something I'm always working on. Like sometimes I'm fine. Sometimes I'll have something like that in a piece of music, and it's no big deal. I'm able to kind of enjoy that nice, high, quiet moment. But then sometimes it doesn't happen for me. So for me, it's better to think of it having like a little more volume to the start, and then it tapers. I think sometimes we have to play mind games with ourselves a little bit to get around our own mental barriers when it comes to preparing and playing the music. I'm going to do that end again. I want to connect that last line. I want to connect that last line with the phrase like midway the line before it. So we'll do that. Place that last note. Ew, I liked where I placed it, but I didn't like the squeak. One more time, third time's the charm. notice I was using the alternate B here. It's typically a very sharp note, so you can use your finger here to shade to make it a little bit lower. So here's your middle finger B. And then shade. They're actually pretty close on mine. I mean, either my instrument is uniformly sharp, or I just happen to be lucky as far as that note goes. But in the orchestra, I feel like I always need that alternate fingering, especially, I mean, it depends on the people you're playing with, but especially the bassoonists I typically play with. I feel like when I'm in that register and I'm kind of playing with them, I need to bring those notes down a little bit on this instrument, on my B flat, not so much on my A. I don't know if anybody else has had this experience, but I feel like intonation and timbre fingerings in the orchestra are sometimes a completely different thing for B flat or versus my A clarinet. So I think now I'm going to go back to the beginning and play the whole thing.